Hey everybody, this is going to be a tutorial about Tyranobuilder and some of the customizations you can do with your text boxes and fonts and speaking characters. A lot of stuff has changed since my later tutorial videos with a lot of updates, so there's a lot of new customizing stuff that has come out. So I went ahead and added a background, some characters. This is Kylo, this is Sue, and some text. So like if you don't really mess with anything, this is what it's gonna look like. You got your black message box, you got your white writing. So first off, let's say you have an idea for a message box, what you want your message box to look like, and you draw one, or you go on the internet to find one that you like. So you can add that into your project. So up here in the project section, all this stuff here above game settings is all pretty much for adding things in. So you're going to add your characters in, you're going to add your text box in, your fonts. If you have made your own font, you can add it. You're going to add your variables, you're going to assign speech bubbles, that kind of stuff. In game settings, this is where you can modify the things that have been added. So adding and then modifying. Because you'll have a characters thing here that's different. The characters under project, add the characters. The characters under game settings, manipulate the characters, if that makes sense. So we are going to add in a text box that I just found on the internet for this purpose. So this is the user interface, if you will, your background. So this is what is currently here, the default. This is the character name. You can move this guy. So if you go into settings, you see you can't, sometimes it'll say add, but it will actually not let you do it until you click on the box and say set image. Sometimes the set image will be there and you can click on it and choose your file. It still won't let you change it until you click on the box, because you know Tyranobuilder is a little buggy. So I was like, why can't I consistently change it? It's because you have to click this box before you hit the click image. So we're gonna find our one that we found on the internet, and now we can use it. And you can move it to where you want it to go. So one of the things that, or you can, adjust it up here. One of the things that is also kind of confused me, I guess, when I was first starting to play around with this, is that the name thing is white. So I was like, where's the name thing to drag it? It's because it's white, so you can't see it. So you can change that color, so you can drag where you want the character name to go, which is nice because, so you see it's 215 and 482. It's nice because the text, you're not so lucky. So let's say we just save that, and now we can see what it looks like. We put our own in. See, the problem is that the text doesn't automatically go inside of it. Of course not. So what you're going to do here is go into where we talked about you change the things that you put on there. And this one will be the message window. So, for example, the name field, where it was white and we couldn't see it, this is where we can like change it to orange if we want to. Okay, so we'll be able to see it better. And this is also where we're going to decide where we want the text to go. So you can change the size of the window, and you can also decide where you want the message to go in the message box. I am terrible at X and Y and on these things. It's not my skill. I've never taken the time to learn it. I don't want to. I use a different thing where I don't have to know it. I don't want to know it. But anyway, let's say 230. It's not ideal for me to play with this thing. But this is where you're going to decide, and you're pretty much going to go top and left to adjust your text to make it inside the box. Oh, no, I don't know what I did. Top 230. Oh, I think I did it backwards, that's why. Sorry, everybody. Let's just do 250. Because we're so far from the left has to be a lot. I mean, y'all probably know the X and Y better than me. So we're almost there. If I had paid more attention to where the name thing was, I could have adjusted a little bit better, but I'm lazy. So you get the idea. You have to play with it in order to adjust where the text shows up in the text box. In here you can also change the window, the way the window looks. You can change how the name field looks. If you get a GIF of that, you can change it, but you can't change the font stuff in here. You have to go into font and do that stuff. So this is where you can decide that kind of stuff. So let's say we're gonna make ours super pink, right? Or maybe not. You can play with all kinds of different effects of what the font looks like in here. I'm not a font person. I don't really worry about all that stuff. But message window and name field you affect in here. The font for the message window you affect in here. Okay. So that is if you want to customize your own. Another thing that you can, oh, one more thing about that before I forget it, like I always do. Another thing that you can customize in the interface is adding buttons. So instead of going into the menu, you can say, oh, I want to save button here. You can change the, I can't remember how to do it. You can change what the color looks like. But where, I don't remember. You can change it. I don't remember how. Sorry, team. But you can keep adding these guys in. There is a place to check. Okay, I'm not going to let it drive me nuts because I hate this. I hate this thing. So you can add those if you want to. And then you won't have a screen that you click on. You can just do it right from the box. And then one more thing you can do if you want to is you can go into here and menus, so you don't have to use that save screen since you know, are customizing. Let's customize. Tutorial. Here's all my things. Let's say I want this to be my save screen background. There you go. You can do all that there. So that's if you want to customize it. Now, something Tyranobuilder has done that I greatly appreciate is that they have put in global themes, so you don't have to customize. If you don't want to, you can go back into here and, oh, we're in game settings already, and you can go to UI themes. And so when you pick your project at the beginning, you pick your screen size based off of what platform it's going to be used on. So in here it's going to have all of the sizes, and I'm just going to click it to say the one I picked. So you can see what the themes would look like, and that's how it would kind of look in your game. So you can decide which one you like. I'm going to pick Cyber. So instead of what we picked before, except for you have to get rid of everything that you customize because it is annoying like that. Oh, Tyranobuilder. Where did we do that at? We did that in user interface. Remove. 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 So now you have your custom. Okay. You want to supposed to, we removed you. So buggy. You're so buggy. Or it's me. I'm just too impatient to hit apply. Yeah, okay. So now we have our new theme. We see that we have the save, the global save scene. Load screen, that kind of stuff. So let's say you didn't like having all of these things down here, which I do not. You can go back to your themes and you can decide to disable those buttons. You can here adjust your message color, say red, just so we can see what it looks like, that kind of stuff. And the buttons are gone, and now you can go to these menus from here, and they are still customized. Okay, so that's another thing that you can do. Another thing that has been added that I think is pretty cool is a message bubble that comes right out of their mouth. So same thing, if you want to have that, you can go to this speech bubble settings. So you see how you wrote the character's name is actually kind of important, because you see when you have them talk and you have their name here as the speaker, it has to match what you name them in the character list in order for the speech bubble to work, because you're assigning a speech bubble to this here name that you have written down here. So it has to match in order to show up, or else it's just going to be like on the screen like I'm an error. So apply to all characters, that is Kylo, not all characters that's on the screen. Apply to all characters that you have for Sue, not just, it doesn't apply to all characters on this list. It applies to all the characters you have under the heading Kylo. And this is where you can decide where you want the bubble, what the bubble looks like. You know, as usual, you can do a lot of customizing. So let's see and so instead of show text and remove text, you're going to need to put in bubble instead. But you see there's not a bubble under message here, so we are going to go into this this is what called by customized tool area, creepy looking hammer. And we're going to, and this is where there's actually stuff that's not over here on the left that you can add to it. If you want to use it. So we added those to our left side. So instead of saying show text, remove text, we're going to say open speech bubble, close speech bubble. Let's see. Oh, I went the long way. Sorry. And now we have speech bubbles. So let's say we have these two characters. We don't know who's who. We don't know their names, or you know who's speaking. I guess with the speech bubble, you do know who's speaking. But if we go back to text, you don't know which one is Kylo and which one is Sue. You don't know who's talking here. So one thing that you can do is highlight the talking character, so the player has an idea of which one it is. So you can go to game settings again, characters, and here is where you can say one of them is bright, the speaker is bright, or the non-speaker is blurred out. And then this is where you can change things about the position of the character. So let's see what it looks like. I know I keep hitting that button. So Sue is lit up, Kylo's lit up. Let's see if we missed anything. Changing the font. Let's say I want to change the font of what the text looks like, bold and italicized. You can do that here. Now, used to you had to do where you wrote in italic, you wrote in when it's bold, which I would still do. This seems like it would be irritating. Text speed, again, you can change that. Show background, it's supposed to be like, instead of remove text, it's going to take away the text box so you can see the background. I don't know why you would do that instead of remove text, unless somebody has a good reason for it. I'm not interested. Oh, and then the last thing, and I think I hit all of the big things I was going to talk about in this video, is you can add these guys to your favorites now. So I'm going to add Sue to my favorites. So instead of saying join scene, picking Sue, deciding where he is, I can just drag him down here, drag it down here, and it's him set up. With this particular one, if I wanted a different character, if I was changing the way it looks a lot, it doesn't do move or change expression or anything like that. It's the one that you have favorited. Usually I just copy and paste, and that would be the easiest way, but it's not cooperating. Yeah, so that would be the way I would usually do it. All right, I think that's it for this video. If I missed anything,